Hello there guys and welcome back to a brand new video. So in today's video I'm going to be ranking all the game modes in the multiplayer for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now before getting into this video, don't forget to leave a like if you do enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to get notified of all my content. Diving straight into this, I'm going to go best to worst. So for me the best mode in the game honestly is Capsule Supremacy. The reason for this is just because I love how every game genuinely feels so different thanks to contextual spawning. And yeah, okay, the mode would really benefit from having the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. Yes, it's Clone Wars only, but every game feels so different for me, and I could just honestly play endless games. And before the contextual spawning arrived in August, I genuinely couldn't play the game for more than one, but that addition honestly turned it around massively. The second best game mode for me is Galactica Soul. Now, I feel like this is fairly obvious because you guys may well know how much I used to love playing this, and it was basically all I used to play when I streamed pretty much. I hated heroes versus villains. I didn't like Capsule Supremacy at all until contextual spawning. And for me, I just love the fact that you can play on basically every map apart from obviously Felucia, and the fact that it's got that really rich storytelling through objective-based experiences. So every map feels unique, but for me, like, the main downside is the fact that there are no new maps to it, and obviously it's a linear mode, so everything just feels really repetitive after the last few months. Really, the fact that we haven't had any maps for ages just really kind of dampers it. So my third favourite game mode is Heroes versus Villains. Now this may come as a surprise to everyone because obviously I used to hate Heroes vs Villains with the targeting system. I could never play it and I basically boycotted it for months. I did a video on it ages ago saying about how it should be changed to basically Hero Blast, and of course back in May they actually changed it to that. So for me that's like amazing, and I love every minute that I play of it now, and I can always see myself playing it from time to time because there's also a sense of nostalgia as well, because it takes me back to the old Heroes vs Villains from Battlefront 2 2005, and that was, to be honest, one of my favourite Star Wars experiences as a kid with regards to gaming, and every match feels different as well. So for me, Heroes vs Villains is right up there in number 3. Closely followed is Hero Showdown in at number 4, and I've loved this mode since it came out. I used to love it so much more than Heroes vs Villains when they introduced it back in, I think it was May, back in 2018, so for me this game mode is just amazing. It's something I've wanted for a while actually, and the fact that it's got 2v2 gameplay, just heroes, is really fun. It's pretty intense at times, and it's just really rewarding to like win a 1v2 or something like that. And for me, the fact that you can like strategize and try and outsmart your opponents, for me it just kind of brings the next level of gameplay that you don't have anywhere else in the game really. Number 5 is Co-op. Now obviously Co-op only just released a couple weeks ago now, but for me this is completely standout mode really. I'm surprised to not see it myself further up, but after having some long thoughts about it, I have put it down at number 5. But it's just really fun, really chaotic mode, especially to play with your friends, and I just love how it plays out like Turning Point from Battlefront 2015 as well, because that was a really good mode actually. I don't really have that much else to say about it, but this mode would really benefit from adding the original trilogy and sequel trilogy, and if it does, and obviously change around the AI a little bit, then it could really be up there with one of the top modes in the game. So this one may come as a surprise to many of you, but in at number 6 is Ewok Hunt. Now I don't really have too much to say other than the fact that it's a really fun mode to relax on, have a laugh as well. It really is a shame to find games, because with playing with your friends, even just if it's like 2 or 3 of you, it can honestly just be one of the most fun modes in the game. The kind of reason it's kind of in the middle is obviously, yeah, it's a really great mode, but it would be really beneficial if it got other hunt modes like Geonosian Hunt and Wampa Hunt, just to add a bit more fun and diversity to the mode. Having said that though, obviously in October the community calendar got released yesterday of me recording this, and it turns out we're going to be getting a new revamped Endor map for Ewok Hunt, so hopefully that means we're going to have 2 maps to the mode. Either way, I'm keen to see what they actually introduce to the mode in the October update. But yeah, so Ewok Hunt is in at number 6. Number 7 is Blast. Now for me, Blast is something that I'd normally it would be my go-to in first-person shooters. Obviously Blast is just team deathmatch, and despite my absolute love for the mode in Battlefront 2015, I just can't seem to enjoy it as much in this game, unfortunately. It's a simple and solid mode, and it obviously can be fun, but for me it's just I don't adore it, I don't hate it. So for me, it's just kind of in that middle spot, really. Game mode number 8 is Starfighter Assault. Now, to be honest, this kind of puts a sucker punch in, to be honest, because this mode just does not deserve to be this far down in the list. You know, the lack of maps just make it really repetitive for me. Flying can also be a bit of a bore, unfortunately, you know, because although they changed the way the flying works, I do sometimes find myself very often just flying around in circles trying to get my opponent, which is really frustrating. But the fact that there's just a lack of maps, and there's just no support for the mode at all, unfortunately. And I know there's a community out there who love it, play it loads, and I just really want to get more maps for it, because that story element in Starfighter Assault for me is actually really great, but unfortunately it's just repetitive for me, and it really is a shame. So the Strike/Extraction playlist is in at number 9. Obviously it's now one playlist, and of course part of Strike is actually extracting things anyway, so I thought I might as well just include it in one ranking anyway. But they sit way down at the bottom. You know, Extraction is a really fun mode actually, but just the lack of maps, you know, the fact that it's only 2 maps I can't play it for more than like 2 games maybe. It just gets really boring for me, honestly. Strike, you know, obviously it's got more maps, then obviously you have to extract an object, or you have to blow up 2 objectives, and you know, whilst it could be more enjoyable, you know, the fact that there's kind of extraction basically there anyway, it just doesn't really add that much excitement for me. And it's just, when Strike first came out, I genuinely thought it was going to be like a smaller scale GA where it's kind of got that storytelling element with objective-based gameplay, which, to be fair, it does actually have that. Obviously, Takodana's extracting the box with Luke's lightsaber in it, basically. It's just, I know this is a harsh criticism, but for me, the fact that there are just 2 modes, basically, 2 objectives, it's not very exciting for me, and it's something I can definitely see myself playing from time to time, but it's just, you know, I kind of had to be harsh with this ranking, and for me it just sits right down at the bottom, really. Lastly, at number 10 is Hero Starfighters. Now, this may be a surprise to some, may not be for others, and to be fair, it is a fun mode, and I actually had a lot of fun gathering the gameplay footage for this. I really like how it plays like heroes versus villains from Battlefront 2015. I think in the style of the mode it really works. However, the rounds sometimes go by very quickly, and to be honest, it can be fairly repetitive, which is a real shame. But obviously, yeah, the lack of maps, the short round, repetitive flying, for me, that's just like, it's all one catalyst for it being at the bottom. You know, again, you know, I do like this mode, you know, like Strike, I do enjoy it, but I can't really ever bring myself to play it for more than maybe 1 game. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think of my ranking, and let me know what your ranks are down in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.